A request. All the candidates graduated to the various degrees to kindly stand up. I invite Father Chancellor to confer admission of degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as a Chancellor of Christ University, I hereby admit you to the various degrees, having been examined, certified, and approved by Christ University. I prevail on you that ever in your life and conversation you show yourselves worthy of the degree awarded.
Kindly refrain from hooting. I request Dr. Somu CS, Associate Dean, School of Law, to administer the pledge. Please turn to page 7 of the Convocation Handbook for the text.
Please keep your right palm close to your heart and repeat the pledge after me. As a graduate of Christ University, I promise to uphold the dignity, honor, the prestige of this university. I will conduct myself with honesty and integrity, taking responsibility for my actions, respecting the rights, opinions, and dignity of all. I will cherish the core values inculcated in me in this temple of learning and will uphold them in the journey of my life. I will use my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability for the advancement of learning, for the well-being of the community, and for public good. I will strive to create a better society with a sense of fairness, social justice, and an environmental responsibility. I will follow the path of righteousness with respect to all ethical considerations, to prove myself a worthy citizen of my country. As I leave the portals of my alma mater, I promise to carry on the good tradition that I belong to in whatever I do, strengthened by the mission and guided by the vision, excellence and service. I take this pledge by reaffirming my faith in God Almighty, who will always be my guiding spirit.
Please be seated. Well, heartiest congratulations to all of you. You all are endowed with a great academic and social responsibility of nation building, and you will be the conscience keepers of this society. This sacred responsibility will be realized in its true sense by realizing the solemn pledge that you have just now taken. Asato ma sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, has been the vision and mission of Indian education since time immemorial. And this is championed by many an erudite educationist. One such jewel in the crown of Indian education is our critically acclaimed chief guest, Padma Shri Dr. Preetham Singh. May I now request Dr. Leena James to introduce the chief guest to this august gathering and request him to deliver the convocation address.
A very good evening to all the respected dignitaries on the dais, invitees, parents, and my dear Christites. It's an honor and privilege for me to introduce the chief guest of this evening, Padma Shri Dr. Preetham Singh. An inspiring role model, Dr. Singh has spent his life tirelessly doing what he does the best, awakening students, academia, corporate leaders, and policymakers to build their excellence to the next level. As the chairman and member of several policy-making committees and bodies of Government of India, he has proved his perspective on policy issues that surround both management education and corporate management in India. Currently, he sits on the board of 10 reputed public and private sector organizations, helping them initiate the change process and create a winning corporate strategy. As a consultant, Dr. Singh has worked with more than 200 CEOs and conducted more than 100 retreats for the top management of MNCs, public and private sector organizations across the globe. He is the guru, the trainer, and the counselor at the board and the top management level of the Indian corporate world. With his entrepreneurial vision and path-breaking innovative methods, Dr. Singh has turned around the fortunes of MDI, where he was the director from 94 to 98 and 2003 to 2006, and IM Lucknow from 98 to 2003. He also made significant contributions in reorienting the Administrative Staff College of India and Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, where he worked as the dean and senior professor. A thought leader with extraordinary insight, Dr. Singh is the author of 7 academically reputed books, out of which 3 are award-winning. He has also published over 60 research papers in various national and international journals. He is a very popular and inspiring speaker internationally and has addressed various Indian and global audiences, including chambers of commerce in various countries. Dr. Singh has been the member and chairman of many of the important government committees of India. His distinguished services were acknowledged by the country when the President of India conferred on him the prestigious Padma Shri. It was for the first time that any professor and a serving director in India received this coveted award in the field of management education. He has also been the recipient of several prestigious awards. Dr. Singh is an MCOM gold medalist from Banaras Hindu University, PhD in Management, DLit from UP Technical University, and Fulbright Fellow from Kelly School of Management, Indiana, USA. With this, now I would like to invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Padma Shri Dr. Preetham Singh, to address the gathering. Thank you.
Honorable and very, very revered Chancellor, Dr. Father Thomas Eckert, Father Thomas Matthew, the great Vice Chancellor of this university, the Pro-Vice Chancellors, very, very distinguished faculty members, the graduating students from this great university, parents, very, very distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. Lena was saying something about me, and I think the way Father Chancellor was talking with me and the Vice Chancellor was talking with me, I'm reminded of a very powerful saying by Gandhi. Someone asked a question to Gandhi that who is a great person? And his expectation was that Gandhi will talk at least for about 5 minutes. He will talk about the qualities of the great leader. Gandhi said something very interesting. The person who makes me feel I am also great, he or she is a great person. Thank you very much, Honorable Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Lina ji, all the deans and pro-vice chancellors. Having said that, this is my second visit to this campus. First time I visited, and that was 95, for the admission of my daughter. Because she was extremely keen that from St. Francis, from Hyderabad, she should come here and study. It was her bad luck, because she wanted to come in the second year, because she passed out from Osmania University first year. And Father Principal told me at that time that, Dr. Singh, I want to help you, but you know about interstate transfer of the marks and those kind of things, so I think that I felt bad. Coming to this place, you go to a place and you find the place is a very pious place. There is tremendous amount of serenity. There is energy and there is strength. Because I find that ambience of the place also governs your mindset and thinking. You are passing out from a great university. If you pass out from a great university, you carry onerous responsibility, tremendous responsibility. I remember very well when Moscow University that honored me as a global thought leader, and about 10,000 people were in the hotel, and when I addressed them, and after the address, media asked me, how do you feel today? And my response was, I am feeling miserable. And the media man was extremely surprised, and he asked me, why you are feeling miserable? And I said, now I have to prove. Dear students, you are passing out from Christ University, you remember that. This passport and this visa is going to be a great visa and passport in your life, you know that. And with this kind of visa and the passport, you are carrying onerous responsibility, because people say, oh, I never expected such kind of things from the students of Christ University. I am sure. And why I am sure? Because I see about 700 stars today shining in the sky. You all are the great future leaders. And when you assume the responsibility of leading, don't assume this position as a psychology of entitlement, psychology of responsibility. Having said that, the convocation in Sanskrit is known as Dikshant. So there are two words in Sanskrit, Sichant and Dikshant. Where Siksha ends, Diksha begins. And Diksha means some kind of wisdom, some kind of mantras. So I may like to talk something about the mantras, some about mantras, that comes to my mind. And I was wondering what to talk and all that. And after listening to Father Vice Chancellor, I thought that let me avoid talking about the management, because he spoke with a very powerful voice, with a powerful language, something about the management strategy and those kind of things. So I would like to avoid, that. So I was thinking what to talk and what not to talk. So I will talk something about mantras. But before mantras, I talk something about that. Dear students, you must imagine where you are going to be. Must understand the kind of world you are going to be in. And Buddha, centuries and centuries back, Buddha made a very powerful statement. It's a context that determines the relevance of your action. It's a context that determines the relevance of your thought. It's a context that determines the relevance of your strategy. Dear students must understand what kind of context you are going to confront, face. One context which I see, you are moving from a very, very protected environment of the family, of the great university, and joining a battlefield. Today, I don't say that you are going to be a corporate manager. The whole lingua of corporate manager, in my judgment, has become obsolete. You are going to be all warriors. And luckily, your chancellor has been also a colonel. Okay. So I think that you all are going to be warriors. What's the meaning of by being a warrior, that? Let me say a few words about the business world. Is no more a business world. It's really no more a business world. It's a battlefield. And very jokingly I call it, it's going to be corporate Mahabharata. And Mahabharata word I'm using because people say it was the longest war and most powerful war that was fought on this earth. So I'm using the word Mahabharata in that sense. This word is a very, very different kind of word. For the first time in this world, I see that giants are being knocked by the pygmies. So I see the war of Goliath and David. If you are going to become David, you are going to survive. Don't think that you are going to survive because you are the Goliath. And why do I say it? If you try to see the history of about 500 companies, the great companies in 1914, in 1995, out of 500 companies, only 14 companies survived. When he wrote a piece, From Good to Great, he identified, when he wrote the piece, In Search of Excellence, he identified about 5 companies. He had identified 11 companies. But when he wrote another book, From Good to Great, out of 11, only 5 could survive. Who imagined that Chorus would be acquired by Mittal? Who imagined? Who imagined Chorus would be acquired by Excel would be, Chorus would be acquired by Tatas? Who imagined? Who imagined that Novelis would be acquired by Birlas? Who imagined? For the first time in the history, I see the small fish are swallowing the big fish. And dear students, that's why someone sitting in the garage, somewhere, where he is sitting in the garage, either Germany or France or America or Canada, somewhere sitting in the garage may be a tiny player manufacturing silver bullets to shoot you. From where the bullet would be coming, no one knows about that. This is the world you are going to face. Because in the battlefield, normally you know who is your enemy. In the battlefield, normally you know about which territory you are going to capture. But this is the battlefield. Neither you are aware about the territory, nor you are aware about the enemies. But you are going to fight that war. when I see this war, this confluence of uncertainties, ambiguities, volatility, you have to think about what kind of competence you have to develop. So I will talk about 4 or 5 competencies and all that. And this is what actually I will talk something about the great leaders, those who have made the difference in the world, about from the politics to the religion and to the academia. I will talk something about them, what I saw in them. All these leaders, they demonstrated one thing. They had Himalayan purpose with oceanic depth. With Himalayan purpose with oceanic depth. Why I am using the word Himalayan? Why I am using the word oceanic? Because it's a depth of the purpose, height of the purpose, that depends on your strength. So your strength is a function of the purpose which you are trying to pursue. In fact, your life is nothing. It's a purpose. And the moment I say purpose is over, life is over. Dear students, ask a question. What is your purpose in life? And that's why today's purpose may not be very much relevant for tomorrow. And that's why are you going to create the second curve of purpose every day? The great leaders, they have been always doing it. They always create the second curve of the purpose continuously. Because the moment purpose is dead, life is dead. I'll tell you something very interesting. We all Hindus say Hare Rama, Hare Krishna every day. The way in Christianity and the way in Islam, people remember the gods and all that. We all the time say Hare Rama, Hare Krishna every day. I have been asking this kind of question to many Indians. Do you know the place where Lord Krishna died? 99.9% Indians are totally unaware the place where Lord Krishna died. I have been thinking, how come we say every day Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, but the place where Lord Krishna died, we Indians are totally unaware. And my own response was, Krishna died the day Mahabharata was over. Because the purpose of Krishna's life was over. Dear students, you must ask a question, what is the purpose of your life? What exactly you want to do? Are you very clear about the purpose? When I talk with the students, what do you want to be? At the age of 35, I want to become the vice president. Then, at the age of 45, I want to become the president. Then, I never thought about that. I thought that to be the president is the end of life. I think that, dear students, it's a very great question. Think about that. The second thing which I find, it's a really second thing to very find, that life begins from death. And you find that if you read Gita, you know that find that life begins from death. What is the meaning of that? So long that there is a continuous death in your life, there is always new life. Death means what? The death of arrogance, the death of being lazy, the death of being dishonest, the death of decision not to grow, not to evolve. So long as there is a continuous death of all the wrong habits, you are moving from darkness to light. And the point which was saying that tamso ma jyotirgamay, and that's why you find that 3 mantras which we say, that asato ma sadgamay, tamso ma jyotirgamay, and mrityo ma amritangamay. That these are the 3 paths in life that God, give me the courage to move from non-truth to truth. Give me the courage to move from darkness to light. God, give me the strength to be immortal. And that's why the second mantra which I am talking about, dear students, that's extremely important. You become mortal and immortal not by the position, not by the wealth you accumulate. You become immortal by the contribution you make. Jesus is immortal. Gandhi is immortal. Buddha is immortal. Mandela is immortal. Martin Luther King is immortal. Why they are immortal? Because they contributed. You are just equal to your contribution. The algebra of life, the chemistry of life, the physics of life is nothing but contribution. You are equal to your contribution. I am writing a book, Odyssey to Leadership, From Darkness to Light. And I have interviewed about 12 toxic leaders. 12 toxic leaders who became the CMD. You may occupy the position, but people may not remember you. And that's why I ask a question, what legacy you are going to leave? What legacy you are going to leave, that's extremely important. The moment you start asking, what legacy I am leaving here in Christ University, or what I would be leaving, what legacy, because some of the BBA boys and girls may like to join MBA program here. Some of the LLB boys and girls may like to join LLM program here. So what kind of legacy you are going to live? And I must also tell you, my father, not highly educated, he was only 6th standard pass when he died around the mission hospital, because I come from a very small town, that about 10,000 people were there. And I've been asking a question, when I die, how many persons would be at the time of my death? That disturbs me. I feel all the accolades, all the honors, what I have achieved, what he achieved in his life. He left a great legacy. Even today I am known not by my name, I am known by the name of my father. Dear students, how you would like to be known. And Gandhi will never die, Mandela will never die because of their contribution. Steve Jobs will never die. Bill Gates will never die. Such kind of great leaders will never die because they have made enormous contribution to the upliftment of society. And that's why the Christ University also talks about the sustainable growth, because Lena is working in the area of sustainable growth, social responsibility, and so on and so forth. What contribution you are making to society? And that's why I always say, those who live for others, they never die. Those who live for themselves, they die after death. And that's why I have been always saying that when I ask a question to the students, that whom you admire, mother or father, 90% students, they say, I admire my mother. And then I ask a question, this father follows, he gets all the whipping in the office, he makes money, and I think that you don't talk about him, you talk only about your mother. He said, well, she has been the monument of giving. And very jokingly I say, or very humorously I say, by giving you become Devata, and by taking you become Dano. Devata gives, Dano takes. Dear students, you must ask a question, what you are going to give to society? And that's why there are 4 Rinas, and I was talking with the Vice Chancellor. The first Rina is the Rina of God. What gift you are giving to God? You must ask that question. Because God has given you tremendous amount of energy, tremendous amount of power, tremendous amount of strength. Are you using that? If you are not using that, you are insolvent people. Because people are from law background, people are from management background. So you take the money from the bank and don't pay back money to the bank, so you are insolvent guy. Are you going in front of God as insolvent? And that's why we say, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से ये पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. That's extremely important. That should be the motto of your life, that you don't have to ask for anything. Let people ask a question, hey, what do you want? So that's why you find that are you using the strength and power? And if by giving, and that's why I always say, if you don't want to become demonic, if you want to become godly, virtuous, I think that give back to God, give back to your institution. And that's where Father Chancellor, I feel extremely uncomfortable with the Indian students, because when I go to America, I go to Europe, this batch donated this hall, this batch donated this hall, this batch donated this hall. I think one of the students in Lucknow, he came and asked me, sir, my caution money is not coming. I said, why don't you donate your caution money? I'm not trying to say that. Donate all your caution money to the university. Why? What caution money you talk about that? I am saying give back to the institution. Give back to your gurus, that, those who taught you, those who made your life, that. Give back to your parents who did everything for you. Your life should be the life of giving, that. And two more points which I would like to say, because I know that you all have been sitting here. One point which I would like to say, in the battlefield, success and failure, there are two coins of life. If you feel that all the time you succeed, I'm not very sure. It's the right kind of feeling, right kind of thinking. If you also feel that all the time you're going to lose, it's also not a very prudent and right kind of thinking. It's a failure. Somebody asked a question that, what do you feel today? I said, what do you mean by I feel today? I'm quite okay. And I said, but these kind of things happen in your life. Don't you feel very depressed, demoralized and demotivated and so on and so forth? So you might have read the poem Invictus, Ernest. And Mandela, for 27 years, he was in the solitary confinement. And when the day he was released, someone asked a question to him, that how could you spend 27 years of your life sitting in this room and you had solitary confinement? And Mandela said, my dear student, something very interesting. I am the master of my fate. And I say, I am the master of my destiny. I am the master of my destiny, and I am the captain of my soul. Dear students, you are the master of your destiny. Failures may come in your way, but that should not demoralize you, that should not demotivate you. Because you are the master. That kind of confidence you must have. That's very important. That's why are you having that kind of courage? Are you having that kind of confidence? Are you having that kind of, strength to deal with these problems, struggles in your life? That if you do it, you would succeed. Use I think that failure as a great lessons, as a great stepping stone to move further. Always move upward, that. That should be your motto of life. Nothing should try to draw back. And that's why I find that organizations, society, you must move to the next orbit all the time. And if you want to move to the next orbit, dear students, there is a gravity and there are gravitational force. Gravitational force may be in your life. Gravitational force would be in the corporate world, in your company. They may like to pull you down. And that's why I call it escape velocity. Your escape velocity should be more powerful than your gravitational force. You can't go to the next orbit. So develop escape velocity, that's a very important point. And you must be knowing that and that's why you find one more point which I say. That's why I say you might have. Paul Hamilton wrote something very interesting. This too shall pass away. Remember, this too shall pass away. If you are very happy, that too shall pass away. If you are very unhappy one day, that too shall pass away. Remember all the time, Hamilton, dear students, this too shall pass away. Last point which I would like to say, that become a lotusing human being, a flowering human being, evolving human being. How can you become a lotusing human being? How can you become a flowering human being? How can how you can become evolving human being, 2 or 3 things, that I would like to say. One thing that I say, knowing the enemies is your intelligence. Knowing the enemies or competitors is your intelligence. Knowing the self is wisdom. Conquering the enemies is your strength. But conquering the self is power. The moment you decide to conquer yourself, you can never say that I am the winner. And that's why I always say, dear students, be Olympians. Olympians, they participate, they go to Olympic game, they break all the previous records, and they came with one resolution: I am going to break my own records. Go on raising the bar of performance. Go on raising the bar of excellence. Go on raising the bar of your vision. Go on raising the bar of your dream. And I think the moment you start conquering yourself, you would be restlessly, passionately perceiving, following, that. And I think that, and this ability you should develop, that. 2 more points which I would like to say. Lincoln made one point very strongly. Without divine assistance, nothing can be possible. Without divine assistance, nothing can be possible. And with it, everything is possible. Your faith in God, your faith in Almighty is extremely important. I don't know whether you are giving me the signal that stop now. But I would like to say one thing. I admire Kalidasa for everything. But Kalidasa wrote one poetry that touches me all the time. Kalidasa says, God, you can give me all the miseries, you can give me all the problems, you can give me all the troubles. I will think that one as a blessing. I will never grudge against you. But God, never ask me to recite my poem in front of those fellows who can't appreciate. Thank you very much for being very appreciative.
Sir, your words of wisdom and kind advice will definitely be a beacon light for these initiates. May I now request the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Father Thomas Aikra, who stands like Colossus behind Christ University and its fraternity, to address the gathering.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Padmasri Dr. Preetam Singh, Reverend Dr. Thomas G. Matthew, our Vice Chancellor, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, dear Mr. Yugnu Abaroi, the President of Christ University Alumni Association, my dear parents, invitees, guests, especially my dear graduating students. We have listened to a beautiful address by Mr. Singh here. An excellent one. He gave us a lot of beautiful insights, wisdom from his own life, not only from his knowledge, from his experience. I liked it very much. I had just 1 or 2 minutes conversation with him before we came to the hall here. He has such beautiful vision. I thought he could continue, but did you observe what he said at the last sentence here? I suppose you did, especially the students here. He made a very sharp observation here. A sharp observation here. Please bear in mind. Many of the points he said, especially you are going to a battle where you do not know the enemy. It's dangerous, eh? Where you do not know the enemy. I am not going to repeat all what Singh has said so beautifully. I just come to my short message here. I'm immensely happy and I say really proud to join you all on this beautiful occasion of the Convocation. It's my pleasant privilege to congratulate all the graduates of the day for their great success and achievements. Yes, please. You have all the reasons to be happy and proud today, as you have realized one of your fond dreams. Please do bear in mind that a man of dreams, a man of purpose, to borrow his language, can make the impossible a possible. There is an inner power in your dreams that can empower you incessantly, motivate you very positively, and keep you moving creatively. Do keep on having creative dreams and definitely clear purpose. You determine the destiny of USC. Please sustain, strengthen, and cherish the self-confidence that you have attained during your studies here at the university. Whenever I attended the programs here at the university, I always felt so happy to observe the wonderful self-confidence of our students. While you are joyful and proud today, you are bound to be grateful. Grateful to God Almighty in supporting and sustaining and accompanying presence. That's how I understand God. The supporting, sustaining, and accompanying presence in our day-to-day life. You have to be grateful to your beloved parents who keep you always very close to their hearts. Your parents who work for you and for your bright future. Again, you have to be grateful to your teachers who helped you to open your inner eyes, who helped you to think systematically, to study comprehensively, to evaluate correctly different data and daily events. Teachers who helped you to set the right priority of values in your life. Again, grateful to the entire alma mater that stood by you all, always, and in all its curricular and co-curricular activities, trying to nurture a mature Christ-like culture. Please do remember, thousands of students fervently wanted to study at this university, but, I say but, they could not. You are the one of the select few. Hence, while you are proud, you have to be really grateful. Grateful to the entire alma mater. The Christ-like culture is indeed an ever vibrant with its commendable core values, with its basic vision of inclusiveness and integration. A Christ-like culture with a strong social commitment, nation building. A Christ-like culture with its global networking and world-class ambience. Above all, a Christ-like culture that instills in you a strong self-confidence, developing a clear awareness of the power of your identity, who you are, enabling you all to face life positively and creatively. This is indeed the core and goal of education for which we all spend our time and energy. Do continue to live this valuable Christ-like culture. And always try to be in future an eloquent ambassador of Christ University and its values, not only by words, especially by your life. When I went through the profile of Dr. Singh this morning, one of his several attributes attracted my special attention. Namely, he is branded as a change master and a Renaissance leader. To be a change master, he must certainly and basically be open. You could appreciate and understand it very clearly now. Very open and very, very clear about his purpose in life. This is my special wish for you, our graduates of today. Try to become change masters. Welcome change. In order to welcome change, be self-confident, be daring, be open, and bring about change first in your own thinking, in your own deciding, in your own creative steps. Let your graduation be a unique occasion to bring about creative changes in your attitude. Please do remember, life is all about attitudes. We are what our attitudes are. It's very clear. We are as our thoughts are. So 2015 is declared to be the year of the light and light-related technologies. Let our education, with its core values, leading to an enlightening self-awareness, enkindle the light within us, helping us to tap the light-related technologies is my sincere prayer for you today. On this happy occasion, let's not forget that India lives in her young generation. India has the largest youth population in the world. The age group of 15 to 34, they make 35% of the whole population in India. My dear graduates, this is your era. Please do note that there are many who are extremely successful at a very young age. In some sense, what one should have attained at 50s and 60s is attained by teenagers and youngsters in their 20s today. I have a feeling that there are several young billionaires in this era of ours. To mention a few, Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg, CEO and co-founder of Snapchat, Ivan Spiegel, and the founder of a blood testing company, Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, are only a few of them. Let us be grateful in accepting, acquiring wealth. At the same time, let us be generous in giving. Remember what Dr. Singh has said, we keep on living only by giving. I repeat my own verse, we keep on living only by giving. Youngsters are really crazy about their startups. Last week, I hope you all remember, the world was really shocked when the CEO of Housing.com, Rahul Yadav, shocked you when he declared that rupees 200 crores worth shares he has in his company was to be distributed among all the employees in his own company. What was more shocking perhaps about this 26-year-old IIT dropout was his comment after the historic gifting away of all his shares. I quote, "It is too early for me to get serious about money." He again continued, "If something does not exist, build it yourself. If it does not work, move on, keep moving. You will have money on your way, you will have fame on your way, you will have followers and admirers on your way. Do not stop by that. Always think that you have miles to go before you sleep." Let me conclude my short message by quoting famous Mark Twain. Many of us in our teens thought that we were really knowledgeable. When we are in our early 20s, we start feeling that there are others who are better, more knowledgeable. This graduation should help us to be more humble and open. People are grateful. Great people are always grateful and open and humble. Let today's graduation make you all really joyful, profoundly grateful, and strongly motivate you all to march on. Please do march on. Keeping close to your hearts the cherished values of Christite culture. Once again, my hearty congratulations to all the graduates, to their parents and teachers, and wish you all the best and God's blessings. Thank you.
We are sure, Father, that your awe-inspiring words have enthused and motivated our graduates in their quest for greater pursuits. Ladies and gentlemen, any educational edifice depends on a very strong alumni body. Christ University is indeed privileged to have an unshakable alumni foundation nurtured and led by Mr. Jugnu Oberoi, the senior-most alumnus and president of the Christ University Alumni Association. May I invite you, sir, to felicitate the graduates.
By God, too many speakers for my graduation. When will this fat guy be over so I can take pictures with my batchmates and my parents? Yes, this was exactly what I was thinking way back on my graduation day also. Only then we clicked black and white pictures, while today you're so lucky you've got these charming ladies next to you and you're clicking colored pictures. Jealous, surely I am. That's why when I met Father Curiel, the principal who introduced co-ed in this campus in 1987, I asked him, Father, why were you so harsh with us that you had an all-boys college? Plus, that's why I had to go across the seas to Singapore to find my wife. Father smiled and replied, Jugnu, during your time and the batches which followed you, we found students' attendance was going down while the attendance outside the gates of Mounts and Jyoti Nivas was going up. Hence, we thought it best to bring both Mounts and Jyoti Nivas into a campus. Added to my troubles, while I was seated below, Father VC sent me a note. Jugnu, we have a huge traffic blockade outside our gates due to a breakdown. So keep talking till the traffic clears. Sent him back a reply. On what, Father? He said, as far as I'm interested, you can run an algebra class. So my Christites, lend me your ears. I stand before you as a terrified teacher, but a very proud Christite. I think I better rush back to my few hours of speech before Father Varghese finds me for spoiling the decorum of this august function. Friends, before I really go back to my formal address, I have a duty today. I would request each of my fellow Christites, faculties, and including the fathers, to kindly join me in giving a round of applause to our Chancellor, Father Thomas Aikra. I, after that, will give you a very valid reason. Thank you, everybody. No, I'm not going to recognize him as he's got a double PhD or the fabulous facilities he has given us in this campus. But friends, here is a very young, 80 years old gentleman. Yes, I say 80 years. You heard me correct. You heard me correct. At this age, like a very senior citizen, he does have all the illnesses. He's had a bypass. But have you noticed, from the last, every graduation, this is the fourth graduation we on, and you, as you Christites know, we got still one more. 2 hours he stands here, patiently smiling, giving each of you that book. Friends, at times I've seen, when you people shake his hands, it must be hurting. Some of you lovely ladies have got huge rings. It could have cut into his delicate hand also, I don't say. The other day, I'll just tell you the truth. A few days before, we were having lunch together. When we were discussing these graduation ceremony, I asked him, Father, why don't you sit down? I know with your legs and all hurt, and every evening you're going back and, putting it in hot water and etc. I mean, a lot of us Christites will understand your age and accept it. He said, Jugnu, I can never do that. These are my children. I'm so proud that they've graduated. How could I be sitting down when I should be standing up and saluting them? Father, we are extremely proud that we have a chancellor like you. Thank you for being with us always. Our ever youthful and humble chancellor in Dr. Reverend Father Thomas Aikra, guest of honor Padma Shri Dr. Preetham Singh, the commanding officer of today's passing out regiment, Honorary Colonel of the Indian Armed Forces, Reverend Father Dr. C. Thomas, every Christite's bodyguard and friend in Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Father Abraham, the Principal of Christ Junior College, Father Sebastian, respected fathers, Dr. Anil, the fine gentleman in our registrar, every student's enemy, as he refuses to give us any grace marks, Controller of Examination, Professor Johnny Joseph. Our strength in this university, deans, HODs, faculties, and non-teaching staff, happy parents, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, today's proud graduating battalion of Christites. My namaskarams, walaikum salam, sat sri akal, and a very good evening to one and all. Graduation Day is an event which every student looks forward to, for it's today one changes from a youth to a man, a girl to a woman, ready to face the challenging worlds on their own feet. I recall my own graduation over 40 years back, and remember we too had some fine speakers giving us some sound advice, and advice which many of us took into a pathway of life while it helped us build our future. This day, you have also received some great advice from speakers before me, and I urge you all to keep it in mind. Let me, now as your seniors, add a small bit to their thoughts. I'm not going to remind you that your tomorrow needs hard work, etc., as I'm sure with your years in this college, that has been drilled enough into every Christite. At the outset, I carry the greetings of thousands of fellow Christites who have walked out of this institution with their heads held high. Today, I just wish to remind you of two very important aspects in our life which we tend to forget, that we are Indians first and our culture is appreciated by the West. And while we are trying to ape them as we grow, we not only tend to forget but also not give them the due respect which society and we need to give. The first is a fraternity which is treated like the oldest profession in the world. I'm pained to hear students tell me, but sir, I paid my fees, so why care for them? Let's not forget, they have given us all their wealth of knowledge, and no money in this world can buy that wealth. For if it was so, each one of us would have been a Bill Gates or a Narayan Murthy. Yes, friends, I am thinking about our teachers. Today, I will share a true story of a student and his teacher. The student is yours truly, Jugnu. The teacher is my third standard school teacher called Mrs. David. I did my schooling at the Baldwin Boys High School. Mrs. David was my class teacher in third standard when I should have been 10 years or so and around 15 kgs in weight. I had not seen her since leaving school over 45 years back, though remembered that she was a pretty lady whom we all adored. A few years back, the principal of Baldwin's invited some senior alumni to request us to plan an event at the school as it was celebrating 125 years. So we seniors, around 10 heads, formed a core group and planned to hold a ball at the Leela Hotel called Down Memory Lane. In this group was Akash Rayal, the director of Bethany High School, also a fellow Christite. We became friends, and I came to know that Mrs. David was his mother. As we had to meet regularly, we 10 suggested each one of us host a meet. So when Akash's turn came, he offered to host it at his school, gave us an opportunity to his school, plus told him, I would love to meet my teacher and his mother too. The day dawned, we met in his office, and after the meeting proceeded to the boys' dining rooms for dinner where his mother, Mrs. David, was welcoming each one of us. Please, my friends, listen to this part. When my turn came, Akash told his mother, Ma, this is one of your students. Do you recognize him? For 5 seconds, she looked into my face and addressed me with a name. Immediately, Akash said, no, Ma, this is Jugnu. You have forgotten him. I can understand. It's so long back you have taught him. I stopped Akash. I said, you're wrong, my friend. My teacher has addressed me by my correct legal name, a name which today only my bankers or auditors know, an official name with which I sign my checks. Jugnu is my pet name. After my education, somewhere down the line, it got stuck both in my private and official circle. Christites, The same was repeated to me 15 years back when I honored my teacher, Benny Sir, who taught me economics in the year 1969 at this very college. He too addressed me by that name. What I am trying to stress is, here is a fraternity who, like our parents, never ever forget each one of us. Then why do not we give them the due respect of at least dropping by and informing them the plant they have watered has given fruits? You will see a joy of happiness in their eyes. As you are aware, our Alumni Association has a full day of fun and carnival for this teaching and non-teaching staff called Fun Fiesta every year, when we distribute gifts, run games for them. This year, it's being held on the 4th of July. I'm giving you passing out graduates an opportunity to present a personal gift to any of your favorite teacher. If you so do desire, do leave the gift in our central block reception with your name of the teacher and your name with the mobile number. On 4th, I will personally invite you to present it to that teacher and take a selfie for remembrance. Or better still, leave a gift for the backup staff, like the security who have made your stay in this campus safe, the maid who has kept our college look like Singapore, or the one who has kept your toilets spick and span. Come, join me in thanking this fraternity. For even our scriptures tell us we bow to our Guru first, then the Lord above. My Christites, later part of this evening, I urge you to spend by parting with your friends. A glass of wine or a beer is fine too, as you will shortly bid farewell to your benchmate of the last few years, as you do need to celebrate the effort you have done during your 10 to 15 years of hard work you have put to reach in today's function. But before that, please go home. Thank the old couple as you youngsters address your dear parents. Carry a card, carry a rose, or a chocolate, or just give them a jadoo ki japi, or just tell them 2 words, thank you, and take their blessings for walking the distance with you in the last 20 years of your growth. Do recall, just at a drop of hat, you've asked your dear mother, wake me up at 4 p.m. to study for an exam. And the poor lady turns the whole night in fear that she may miss the alarm, wakes up much earlier, makes you that hot cup of coffee, and then repeatedly tries to wake you up. Remember the number of times your dear father quietly kept back his necessities so that you could enjoy some luxury during your time in college. If possible, do tell them that you will guide them in the twilight years. My fellow Christites, I do not recall if I have said these 2 words to my parents. Even today I long to say so, but unfortunately fate has separated us. Let history not be repeated with you. Here, my friends, I will leave you with your thoughts with a small touching story. After his father's death, the son decided to leave his mother at an old age home where he visited her off and on. One day, he received a call from the home saying his mother was very serious. Please come visit her. So the son went and saw that his mother was very, very critical and on a dying bed. He asked her, "Mother, what can I do for you?" Mother replied, "Please, can you install fans in this home as there are none? Also, can you put a fridge for the betterment of food? Because many a times I have slept hungry without food." The son was surprised and asked, "Mother, while you were here, you never complained. How come you have just a few hours left and you are telling me this all? Why? Why are you telling me this now?" She replied, "It's okay, dear. I have managed with the heat, the hunger, and the pain. But when your children send you here, I'm afraid you will not be able to bear it." My Christite, this is every parent who even in their last breath will always remember you. Then why do not we give them the love and respect they deserve? I can go on and on, giving you many a story of misdeed, but time is not with me today. Our Prime Minister has appealed upon us for a change. I, as your President, appeal to you. Let's lead the change in ourselves. Let's give both these fraternities their true love and respect they deserve. In the lighter tone, coming back to your Alumni Association, I do hope each of you have registered in our webpage. It's free of cost, and through it, you will keep in touch with the activities of the association as well as the happenings in the university campus. I also invite As many as youngsters who would like to join my core team and help us bring the association to a greater height, do mail me if you're keen to be a part of my team. Some of our activities, like the just concluded fee scholarship to needy Christites, it's very close to my heart. The Fun Fiesta Day, a day for our faculty, is on the 4th of July, which will be followed by the health camp for everyone in the campus. Our AGM is in October, followed by the Alumni Family Day on 26th January, where a few thousand of us gather in this very auditorium, followed by dinner. I seem to have crossed my time, but before I bid you best, I would like to share a poem which my late father gave me the day I graduated. For even today, when I am in difficulty, I read it in a corner. It reminds me that I and I alone need to face my problem. He called it an odd philosophy of life. Man comes into this world without his consent, leaves it against his will, while on earth he is misguided and misunderstood. In infancy, he is a fool. In infancy, he is an angel. In boyhood, he is a devil. And in manhood, he is a fool. If he has a wife and children, he is a chum. If he is a bachelor, he is inhuman and mean. If he enters a public house, he is a drunkard. And if he stays out of it, he is a miser. If he is poor, he has no brains. If he is rich, he has all the luck in the world and is a crook. If he has IQ, he is too smart. If he goes to the temple, he is an hypocrite. If he stays away, he is a sinner. If he gives for charity, it is for advertisement. If he does not, he is stingy. When he comes into this world, everybody wants to kiss him. Before he leaves this world, everybody wants to kick him. If he dies young, he had a great future. If he lives to an old ripe age, everybody hopes he's made a will. It is therefore impossible to please everybody, so do your duty. Be fearless, use your common sense, which is so uncommon, and if you make mistakes, it's better than doing nothing. Hence, keep smiling. Nobody wants to hear about troubles of others as they have wagon loads of their own. Signing off, my Christites, I say, mere dost, kabhi alvida mat kehna. The gates of Christ University are always open for its alumni. Godspeed, God bless you, Jai Hind.
Sir, indeed, your words have cajoled and goaded them to look for the myriad shades of life and make it worth living not only for themselves but for others as well. Well, campus life always presents itself with pleasant surprises and challenges for the students to appreciate life to the fullest. Especially, life on the Christ University campus is a pahpuri of mystifying yet meaningful emotions. I call upon now Hasifa Iltaz Shamsuddin to share his views on the student life on Christ University campus.
Chief Guest Padma Shri Dr. Preetham Singh, Director General, former Director, IIM Lucknow, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Father Thomas Aikra, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Father Thomas C. Matthew, beloved fathers of the university, deans, head of departments, proud parents, and my fellow Christites, good evening. I sense an aura of achievement in the air around us today, and this aura is soothing. There's something different about it. Years ago, when we walked into this very auditorium, we were different individuals. Some confused whether we are doing the right thing, while others troubled because the shadows of our parents didn't protect us anymore. But look in the mirror today and tell me, what do you see? I hope the answer is the reason why you're still mentally elated. What I love about the diversity in the auditorium today is about how well we're all still synced. Our X classes span from this block to the central block to the third block. But whatever the distance might have been, we almost timed ourselves to wake up, brush, put on whatever decent formals we could find, and rush ourselves to class. While the law students, BHM and PG students had to do their morning cardio sessions climbing stairs, the BBA honors students did it with remarkable sprints, and the BBA students were in this case the most lucky to have their block so close. But all that is in the past, and I mean most of us are smiling right now because we are on the verge of starting the next chapter of life. I'm going to skip the CIAs, midsems, and NSEMs from this list, clearly because we have had too many, and you probably don't want to remember them just yet. Not since we just wrote them 2 months ago. But I'll tell you what we're definitely going to miss. The Christmas lights on campus. Usually, We'd all be the first ones out of the gates at 4. But this was that time in the year in December when we'd all be on campus back at 7. Not for anything else, but to admire the beauty of the campus, the greenery, the crickets chirping, the frogs jumping, the mist in the wintry air with the lights above. But it hasn't been such a fairy tale, quite literally. भगवान का दिया सब कुछ था, बुक्स थे, नोट्स थे, टाइम था, और हौसला तो इतना था कि जब चाहे पढ़ के टॉप कर सकते थे. बस इतने सालों में कभी मूड नहीं बना यार. And I can never forget having this conversation with my friends twice every single semester. But look at us today. We've all turned out pretty good. Through our own preferences of parliamentary debates, management fests, and cultural fests, university life couldn't have been any more engaging and fruitful than it has been. Most of us aren't prepared to take on the next chapter of life, but life doesn't come with a manual. So I guess we've got to take it on as it comes. Fancy convocation gowns aside, we're bound to miss the cheesy veggie on campus from Freshiteria, teachers telling us to roll our sleeves down or wear patyalas, momos and Maggie during short breaks, and the scintillating band performances during Darpan or in Bloom. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we've all experienced the feeling of our GPAs and bank balances having a race to the bottom. But look on the bright side, class of 2015. We've made it. Yes, we have. Congratulations on this very moment. For the days to come, don't settle. Challenge yourself at every single point. Most importantly, make sure you're doing what you love, because it still isn't too late to fine-tune the edges of the sculpture you are creating. Don't settle at anything below what you want and are expecting. For the tumultuous journey ahead, always remember, ladies and gentlemen, a man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. All the best for the future, and may the force be with you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. I'd just like to take a small moment to thank my parents for making me who I am today. Congratulations once again, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Well, after the farewell speech, it is now time for the farewell song. May I call upon the university choir for rendition of the same.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the logical conclusion of this ceremony, and with the kind permission of the Honorable Chancellor, I declare that the convocation is closed. No heart is as light and as close to the God Almighty as the one filled with abundant gratitude. I request Dr. Tommy Kalarkal, Head Department of Tourism Studies, to kindle this spirit of gratitude by proposing vote of thanks.
As we come to the end of this convocation ceremony, it is my pleasure to extend a formal vote of thanks to all who have made the event meaningful. This day is a very special day for the students who have successfully completed their studies. It is the occasion when hard work, dedication, and sacrifices of the students and their parents are recognized and rewarded at this solemn ceremony. It is also the day when, after closing one door, countless other doors open, not automatically, but on the application of the knowledge, skills, and attitude that you have imbibed from this university. Let me start by thanking God Almighty for showering His blessings on Christ University and the graduating students in particular. We are likewise grateful to the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Thomas Aikra, CMI, for presiding over the Convocation 2015 and awarding the degrees to today's graduates. He has been our source of inspiration and support in all the activities of Christ University. His admiration of the progress of this young university motivates us to set higher standards of excellence and service year after year. Father, on behalf of all present here, let me express our sincere gratitude to you. I express our deep and heartfelt gratitude to Padma Shri Dr. Preetam Singh, former director of IAM Lucknow, for gracing the occasion as a chief guest and for delivering the convocation address. Sir, your illuminating words of wisdom have inspired the audience and the new graduates to fight the war in the corporate world. I am sure that the students have immensely benefited by your kind guidance, which will go a long way in transforming their character and identifying the purpose of their life. As a token of our appreciation and gratitude, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Thomas C. Matthew to present a memento to Dr. Preetam Singh. The growth of Christ University during the past years has been mainly due to the vision and leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Father Thomas C. Matthew. Father, on behalf of all present here, I express our sincere thanks for leading and motivating us to achieve higher standards. I also extend our sincere gratitude to the Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Father Abraham Vittiangal, Dr. Father Verghese KJ, the Chief Finance Officer, Registrar Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto, Controller of Examinations Professor Joni Joseph, Fathers, Deans, Heads of Departments, Mr. Jugno Obroy, the Alumni President, and my faculty colleagues. Our sincere thanks is due to the Christ University Choir, the NCC cadets, SW volunteers, and the support staff, especially Mr. Rajan and his team, without whose hard work this event would not have been what it is. I would also like to extend a special word of thanks to the proud parents, relatives, well-wishers, and friends for the support you give to our today's graduates throughout their studies. You have made many sacrifices to see your children succeed in their studies. But whereas you are very proud to celebrate the results of the achievements of our graduates, their achievements are yours too. Christ University is thus very pleased and proud to share and celebrate this day with you. I also thank Professor Sandeep, the Master of Ceremony, for this convocation. In closing, let me congratulate the degree recipients. You leave this ceremony today with a duty to uphold the good name of Christ University as your alma mater. It is our hope that wherever you are and whatever you do, it will reflect positively on all of us. Make wise use of the knowledge and also the personal, interpersonal, and societal skills you have learned here. It is only through hard work and continuous learning that you'll reach your full potential. I wish you all a bright future. Once again, thank you all and have a great evening.
Thank you, sir. Kindly rise for the national anthem. The ceremonial procession will now leave the auditorium. You are all requested to remain standing till the procession leaves the auditorium. The procession is led by the registrar and the controller of examinations, and they are followed by the chancellor, chief guest, vice chancellor, pro-vice chancellor, deans, associate deans, and heads of departments. Kindly maintain silence. Have a wonderful, pleasant evening and a very wonderful career ahead. Thank you. Good night.